Drama today in the Senate chamber as former Chief Whip Ali Ndume raised an objection during the admission of some Tinubu's economic team members who are there to discuss the tax reforms bill. And former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello answered to charges against him and two others over allegations of fraud and has been remanded in EFCC custody until his bail application ruling on the 10th of December. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on China's television. I'm Sean Kimaloye here in Abuja. We begin tonight from the Senate chambers. It was at the Red Chambers tonight where there was being a mild drama that ensued as the Senate attempted to allow members of the President Bola Tinubu's economic team into the chambers. It all began when the Senate leader, Okoyemi Bamidele, moved for suspension of Order 12 to allow for visitors into the chamber. However, immediately after the submission, the lawmaker representing Bauchi Central, Senator Abdul Ningi, who is of the PDP, stood up and read from the order listing the titles of those who were allowed into the Senate plenary according to the Senate rules. Shortly after, Senator Ndume stood up and said such an important matter should have been highlighted on the order paper, and since it wasn't a supplementary order paper, it should be printed or stepped down for another legislative day. Let me allow you to listen to what transpired between Senator Ali Ndume and the Deputy Senate President, who stood in as the chair of the plenary of the day.
Number 10, that our business for the day will be based on the order paper. The order paper does not contain this. And for God's sake, this is a very, very, very important matter. We should not in any way try to use the position of the Senate, because the order paper is clear and we have been doing this. I have no problem having them to come here and explain whatever. We have been doing that, but we follow known procedures. And that is, if today this thing has to be taken, you now quickly ask for supplementary order paper that will reflect this. And as you say, this is a very, very important matter. It is not a matter that you just come and tell us after we are doing business of the day. Mr. President, you can have your way, but I will have my say. National Economic Council, and that
you have made your point. Can I respond to you?
You can rule me out of order.
Let me respond. Let me respond to you. Now, please, we are not here for rhetorics. We are acting on fact. Excuse me. Order, please. Order, please. Order, please. Order, please. Order.
You, because you are sitting there saying saying it's written.
Allow him. I know.
Are you saying, Mr. President, that a Senate...
No, leave me. Allow him. Wait a minute.
Is that fair to yourself? Now rule me out of order.
All right. In all of that, the Deputy Senate President had a few things to say about the bill and the proceedings.
What you want to do is just to be well informed, and this proceeding is being viewed live by all Nigerians, by most Nigerians, those who want to watch. So it's an avenue for all of us, and indeed Nigerians, to know what this bill entails.
In all of that, well, the matter or the meat of the whole matter was not left out. So Mr. Taiwo Yedele, who is the chair of the Presidential Committee on Tax Reform, was allowed to speak, as well as the chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Dr. Zach Adedeji. Take a listen to both of them.
Areas where we're beginning to see positive results include the balance of trade and current account surplus. We are beginning to see inflation slowing down in developed markets, which means as they cut their rates, more investments will come in our direction. We're seeing a decline in budget deficits more, and we're seeing crude oil local refining in Nigeria, which is good news. And we have our capital markets not doing badly, could be better. And these are some of the context about what led to.
All right, that's Taiwo Oyedele, which has the Presidential Task Force on tax reforms in the country. Of course, the FRS chairman, Zach Adedeji, spoke also. So much to talk about, and I'm going to take you through some of the interesting curves of the political scene today in Nigeria. So stick around with me. Let me bring you up to speed. I've got a lot of stories for you on your political roundup star.
President Bola Tinubu has departed Abuja for a state visit to France following an invitation from President Emmanuel Macron. The three-day visit will focus on strengthening political, economic, and cultural relations, as well as establishing more opportunities for partnership, particularly in agriculture, security, education, health, youth engagement and employment, innovation, as well as energy transition. The Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, also departed Abuja for Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. The Vice President will be attending the opening ceremony of the International Exhibition of Extractive and Energy Resources 2024 conference. The conference is an international event organized by the government of Côte d'Ivoire that focuses on policies and strategies for the sustainable development of the extractive and energy industries. The conference will be held from November the 27th to December the 2nd, 2024 at the Abidjan Exhibition Center. At the Senate Plenary, Chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, has explained that the fiscal systems we have today in Nigeria inhibits growth as more than 60 taxes and levies are collected from across the country, but nothing to show for it. He further noted that the federal government intends to halt the situation where Nigerian businesses are forced to pay tax even in the face of losses, compelling the need to scrutinize the system through the key reforms. At the end of the explanations, the lawmakers declined to ask questions, resolving to invite the team on the next legislative date to clarify aspects of the proposed reforms before a final resolution is taken. The House of Representatives has passed the medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper for 2025 to 2027. In passing the MTEF, the Committees on Finance, Petroleum Upstream and Petroleum Downstream are tasked to investigate reports from the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Responsibility Commission alleging that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited withheld 8.48 trillion naira's claimed subsidies for petrol. Additionally, the investigation will address the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative report, stating that the NNPC failed to remit $2 billion in taxes to the federal government. The immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, and two others have pleaded not guilty to the 16-count charges brought against them by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Former Governor Bello, who is the first defendant, vehemently denied the allegations before Justice Marianne Aneni as they were read out to them. After taking their plea, the defendant's counsel, Joseph Daudu, moved an application for bail, but the EFCC counsel, Kemi Pinero, opposed the application, saying it had expired in October. Making clarifications, the defendant's counsel clarified this, saying that the only relevant application before the court was the motion for bail in respect of the first defendant, which was filed on November the 22nd. The 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, has held a closed-door meeting with the 2023 Kano Central senatorial candidate for the ruling All Progressives Congress, Alhaji Abdulsalam Zara. The meeting is one of the latest of meetings that some have described as moves by the Labour Party presidential candidate to broaden his political alliances ahead of the next general elections in 2027. Although neither Mr. Obi nor Zara made any statements to the press after the discussion, with both maintaining that the meeting was a private matter, sources within the Obedient movement say Mr. Obi's visit may not be unconnected with his ongoing efforts to build a coalition of leaders from across Nigeria's political spectrum. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Jamiu Abiola, son of late MKO Abiola, as a senior special assistant to the president on linguistics and foreign matters. Until his appointment, Jamiu served as the special assistant to the president on special duties in the office of the vice president. President Tinubu tasked the appointee to work closely with the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs and bring his wealth of experience to bear in his new assignment. The Edo State Governor, Senator Monday Okpebolo, has alleged that the recent commissioning of the Stella Obasanjo Hospital in Benin City by former Governor Godwin Obaseki was a scam. He said construction at the facility is still ongoing and equipment yet to be procured by the last administration before it was hurriedly commissioned. The governor spoke when he inspected the facilities at the hospital alongside the Deputy Governor, Honorable Dennis Idahosa, and the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Cyril Adams Oshomole. Governor Sheriff Oborevori of Delta State has declined allegations made by Senator Ned Nwoko, the senator representing Delta North Senatorial District, who claimed to have met the governor, who declined discussions around plans to initiate developmental projects in Ndokwa and other parts of Delta North. The governor clarified that the only interaction he had with Senator Nwoko was when he requested appointments for some individuals, which was granted. The Delta State Governor expressed disappointment that Senator Nwoko has not initiated any empowerment programs for his constituents, unlike his colleagues, urging him to focus on fulfilling his mandate to the people of Delta North rather than spreading falsehoods.
That you have it been served with your political roundup stories. Now let's tell you about what happened today in a frenzied court atmosphere in Abuja. A former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, was brought to the courtroom by the officials of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, after the man was said to have turned himself in a black Hilux vehicle at the headquarters of the EFCC in Abuja yesterday. Mr. Bello today pleaded not guilty to all the 16-count charges brought against himself and two others by the EFCC. The former governor, alongside Omar Oricha and Abdul Salami Hudu, are being prosecuted as first to third defendants, respectively, in a fresh 110 billion 16-count charge instituted against them by the FCC. Mr. Bello, who is the first defendant, vehemently denied the allegations before Justice Marihan Aneni as they were read out to them. After taking their plea, the defendants' counsel, Mr. Joseph Daudu S.A.N., moved an application for bail, where the Federal High Court has now adjourned to the 10th of December for a ruling on the bail application by the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, and two others. Let's go back to the courtroom. This is one matter that we will bite tonight here. It's about one of the political parties that, I don't know if he has more legal problems than any of the other political parties like APC or PDP, but in the history of this political party, it has not been shy of having legal problems. Well, and it has its season. But today, the Supreme Court seems to have laid everything to rest and has upheld an appeal by the All Progressive Grand Alliance recognizing Mr. Sly Eze-Okenwa as its national chairman. In a judgment today, the court also awarded a 20 million naira fine against Edozie Njoku for filing a frivolous suit at FCT High Court in Buhari a few days ago. The Federal High Court in Abuja restrained Mr. Njoku from parading himself as the national chairman of the party. And don't forget that another court a few weeks ago had told Eze-Okenwa not to parade himself as the national chairman of the party. But now, Justice James Omotosho, in a judgment, held that there was no valid court judgment or order, including a judgment from the Supreme Court, that recognized Mr. Njoku as APGA national chairman. The man who perhaps will be beneficiary of today's decision of the Supreme Court is Mr. Sly Eze-Okenwa, who has been affirmed today as APGA national chairman. He's live for us here in our Abuja studio. Thanks so much indeed for joining us.
Yes, thank you very much for having me.
Maybe a congratulations in order.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you feel now that it does look for now the storm is over? Because for me, following the history of APGA,
yes.
I know that there is never a lull when it comes to legal battle and tussle within that party.
Well, I must agree you have a point. APGA has had its own fair share of legal tussle, like you said, dating back to the times of Senator Victor Ume, when he was a national chairman, and then following the trajectory to the chairmanship of Dr. Victor Ikoye. And now, incidentally, I am just a victim in the crossfire, if I may use that word, because essentially, there is really no issue surrounding the convention that brought me to office. The issue that was determined by the Supreme Court today essentially bordered on an issue or an intractable crisis that was fought between the former national chairman and Edozie Njoku. And gladly, the Supreme Court has brought that to an end today by saying unequivocally, confirming our position, which we have maintained from day one, that there was never a time the Supreme Court pronounced Chief Edozie Njoku as the national chairman of APGA. And then graciously as well, the court seemed to have vindicated the position of Honorable Justice J.K. Omotosho last week, where he stated clearly that I was validly elected the national chairman of APGA, and that I, alongside others that were elected with me, are the only people who can validly, carry on the activities and functions of the national officers of APGA. So that's the position today, and we are very much grateful. Like I said, when at the end of the judgment, my appreciation note, I commended Judiciary. Incidentally, I'm a lawyer, I'm a minister in the Temple of Justice, and for me, I have unshakable confidence in the nation's judiciary, especially the Supreme Court. And today they proved us right again.
I don't know what exactly has been the fundamental issue. From the time of Chekwa Sokori, when he stepped away from, I remember, from the party. I remember when Victor Ume took over, and when it comes into the studio, Victor Ume will literally spread all the court papers on the table, and there was that popular saying that there were three factions of APGA.
Yes.
There is the APGA, the APGA PDP, and the APGA ACN.
And that tells you the nature of the problem we've been facing. Because most of these problems are sponsored.
By who?
Yeah, I would say political gladiators, and I call them political merchants. You see, there are people who believe that politics is not an instrument or an avenue to serve the people. For them, politics is just a means to enrich themselves. And so, when the time comes, they go shopping for court orders from various parts of the country just to take over the leadership of the party. And they're not doing it to advance the interests of the party. They are not doing it to advance the interests of Nigerians. For them, it is about lining their pockets. And APGA, as a political party, which I call the Progressive Movement, is a party that we know the members of the party. And the members of the party are always intact. They are not interested in all the shenanigans of all these political merchants, as far as we are concerned. So the real members of the party, the real party faithfuls, will always be with the popular leadership of the party. And so what you see are just few individuals, few, I wouldn't want to call them disgruntled elements, who always try to look for loopholes where they can come in to hijack the leadership of the party. But we are undeterred, we are focused to move the party forward.
But I mean, if you look at it historically speaking, and I can say because I've also been monitor and covered those history of APGA. And I mean, you remember when Chef Kwasokori left APGA for APGA, and Victor Ume came from at some point also. There were issues with Victor Ume until Victor Oye came, and there's always been an issue, and it's always about the processes leading to the election of the leadership of the party.
Yes.
Why has it always been a difficult? Because your party is not a very large party in that sense, in the sense that the APGA always had one state it governs.
Yes.
But it has more problem, in fact, as big as the other political parties that have 15, 16 other states. Why has it always been a problem that your party cannot conduct a simple convention, congresses, and which has always brought this problem? Because there's always been a problem of imposition of leadership.
No, I don't agree with you when you talk about imposition of leadership.
No. That's always been the fight.
Anybody can go to court and make any allegation, any frivolous allegation. But when you talk about imposition of leadership, it presupposes that the leadership came in place contrary to the provisions of the Constitution. Mind you, a political party, the members, the organs, are clearly outlined in the Constitution of the party. And the mode of assumption of office clearly outlined in the Constitution of the party. And I don't think that we've had a time when any leadership of the party has come about as a result of usurpation of the provisions of the Constitution. No, I'm coming.
For example,
that's why I said.
So maybe there is a moment for your party
yes.
and those who lead the party
yes.
to sit down, take a rethink and look at the processes
yes.
altogether. What was the position of Victor Oye in the party before he became national chairman? Sorry, just a moment.
Okay.
The allegations about from the likes of Edozie Njoku,
yes.
the likes of Chekwas Okorie,
yes.
has always been that the governor has done that.
That's why I said so anybody can make any allegation. That's the problem. The problem is someone comes, decides to toe a convenient path and makes an allegation to substantiate whatever convenient party wants to do. The question, when you meet and consult the real members of the party, you won't see them challenge decisions of the party because these are decisions taken at a national convention. And mind you, the Supreme Court has come out in various cases to say that the issues bordering on the internal affairs of a political party are not justiciable. Now, I can tell you, part of the reason why it seems that this problem is quite peculiar to APGA is that you can't try such, let me use the word rubbish, in the ruling party where you have the president. But because they see that APGA probably is a party controlling just one state, someone sitting in the comfort of his bedroom thinks, oh, we can take away the leadership of the party just to reach our inordinate end.
But now that
and that is the problem. So when you talk about when you talk about the disease and all whatnot, I keep telling you, APGA as a political party is one. You mentioned two individuals, Chekwas Okorie and Edozie Njoku. I've said it consistently, even in this studio. If you go to their respective wards, these men are not members of the party. It is unfortunate that this issue has lingered and dragged up to this point. At the last we know, you and I know that Chekwas Okorie at a point was the national chairman of a particular political party. I think it was UPP. Thereafter, he resigned and joined, I think it was the ruling party. The next thing we heard of him was that he was claiming to be the presidential candidate. So how do you blame APGA for such kind of madness? We had an individual, Edozie Njoku, who all of a sudden just woke up and said that he conducted convention in a particular location. How do you blame APGA? When the party gave notice to INEC, stated clearly where the convention will be held. All the members of the party were there, the delegates, the BOT members, the national officers, the members of the House of Assembly, the only governor that we had at that time, the deputy governor, every distinguished personality in the party. We are there at that convention.
Mr. Ezekiel, there are those in your party
who
blame Soludo
yes.
For his incapacity to play politics that will properly handle the politics of the party. Is it now a reality that you cannot sleep? You want to be a governor and not play the politics of your party?
Now, I can tell you.
Is it now a reality?
I can tell you. Like I said, anybody can wake up and make any allegation. Let me tell you what the problem is when you see all these individuals calling Governor Soludo. Soludo is not an officer of the party. He's national leader of the party. And by virtue of being the governor of Anambra State, it is the duty of the party to support him to ensure good governance to the people of Anambra State. That is our only interest. That's our only mission. And now you see some individuals who believe that because APGA is the platform through which he got to the office as the governor of Anambra State, that it is for him to dip his hands into the coffers of the state and begin to settle them. And when he does not do that, they begin to look for one shortcut order or the other to make sure that they destabilize the system. Are these the individuals that we should be discussing?
So it's about the money of Anambra
absolutely.
State.
That is the only problem.
And Soludo is not willing to give
out the money. That is the only problem.
That is
the only problem.
Not because of the process.
That is the only problem. When you see them previously, they said, oh, when you talk about the processes, for example, like I said, I was elected the national chairman on the 31st of May 2023. in a convention duly monitored by INEC, televised by your own station. There was no problem. And then someone who had an issue with the former national chairman after the tenure in question had elapsed, approached another court to seek for reliefs. And then when INEC purportedly gave him recognition, the next thing he started calling the governor. What business do you have with the governor of Anambra State, who knows clearly, as the national leader of the party, attended a convention, knows who the party elected, and you expect him to come and part with the resources that he's supposed to bring about development in Anambra State?
Mr. Sly,
it's not going to work.
How do you handle the internal affairs of your party going forward from today now? Because in the emergence of in that time that the court says Edoze Njoku is the national chairman of the party, there are definitely structures that he has also built within the party. The party was factionalized along that line. How do you build or rebuild the party in that particular situation?
I'm going to answer this question with 2 points, or just to debunk 2 points. First, no court ever pronounced Edozie Njoku as national chairman. That was the purport of the judgment of Honorable Justice Omotosho last week. The question we submitted, we said, look at all these judgments. Is there any pronouncement by any court? And the answer was in the negative. So the issue of being pronounced by a court is a misnomer that should actually be debunked, and that's what we are doing. And the court has given judgment to that effect. That is one. The second one is the fact that I keep repeating it, that APGA is not factionalized. When you talk about faction, you must talk about a division within the ranks of the party. Not when you have individuals, strangers, aliens to the affairs of the party coming up to lay any claim. That is not factionalization as far as I'm concerned. But then, I must admit that in the course of all these issues, there are genuine members of the party who apparently were confused, especially when recognition was accorded to the individual in question. And for us, the ultimate decision that the party has taken is to close ranks. We are one, as far as we are concerned. APGA is one united, indivisible family. And that irrespective of whatever side you took, I have declared today after the judgment that for me, it is a case of no victor, no vanquished. Everybody should return to his position. All the members of the party should remain calm.
Do you think that the storm is over, finally?
Yeah, absolutely, the storm is over.
Let me tell you.
I was in the court today, and you need to listen, or you needed to have listened to the judgment of the Supreme Court. In fact, the Supreme Court came hard on the people they called desperate politicians who are trying to destabilize the country and the political parties. Because the moment you destabilize the political parties in the country, you're destabilizing the country. Because the only avenue through which you can ascend to political power is through an election sponsored by a political party. And so these issues were settled by the court. And as far as we are concerned, anybody is free. The courts of the country are free. Anybody can go and file any suit. But as far as we are concerned, we are moving forward. We have an agenda. If you recall, when I was about to assume office, we designed a template, an agenda which we call the Drive Agenda, which for us was a comprehensive roadmap to make sure that APGA is a formidable political party. Remember that APGA was formed in 2002. And as far as we are concerned, APGA has not really lived up to the expectation. And we are trying as much as possible to go back to the drawing board, look at the agenda of the founding fathers of the party, see, does it align with the realities of the modern day Nigerian? And then what part of our ideology can we shake to meet up the expectations of Nigerians? And that's what we are doing.
Yeah, is the party still sort of branded as to have a feel to represent the voice of the Southeast?
No, not at all. And incidentally, I granted an interview, I think it was 2 days ago, and I tried to x-ray the issues that led to the formation of the party. And that was why he had that appeal to the people of the Southeast, who then were complaining about marginalization within the scheme of affairs of our country. Now, part of what we are doing in the Drive Agenda is an expansion program. And that expansion program is to open up the party to every member or every citizen of the country, to take the party to every nook and cranny of the country, to make sure that the party contests meaningfully for every political post or every election. And in doing that, that's why I said we're trying as much as possible to re-x-ray the ideologies of the party. If you look at Nigeria today, you will see that APGA is the only political party, and I say that with every sense of responsibility, that seems to have an answer to the myriads of the problem bedeviling this country. And I say that every time. If you look at our ideology, one of the issues we propose is that if, peradventure, we find ourselves to the seat of power in this country, one of the things that we are going to ensure is true federalism. Proper devolution of powers between the federal government and the federating unit. Because we believe that power is concentrated so much in the center, and that has stunted development across the various federating units.
Odumegwu Ojukwu may be dead.
Yes.
But it does look like it's still being seen as the ambassador and the face of APGA. And a lot of people who have won elections or who have run for election on the platform of APGA, you will see their billboards, especially in the southeast part of the country, using Ojukwu's face to campaign.
Yes.
How much of significance is Ojukwu to APGA? Can you win an election without an Ojukwu's face?
I don't think that question is really necessary.
No, but that, isn't that the reality?
I'll tell you why.
Is it true or not that Ojukwu's face is always on the billboards each time? And even in the Ankara materials, in the uniform that APGA members and supporters always wear, is that not the fact?
No. I can tell you something. You see, if you follow the genesis of the formation of the party, you will see that Ojukwu played a pivotal role in APGA.
In the formation of
the party. And was our first presidential candidate. And I can tell you that it was the personality, the distinguished personality of Ojukwu that resulted with the electoral success that the party recorded upon formation. Not minding the brazen manner that the 2003 elections were rigged across the country. I believe APGA performed better than the results that were released or declared by INEC. So you can't take away the very distinguished position that Ojukwu attained for APGA. And that's why till today we venerate him. But the fact remains that APGA today is, because when you try as much as possible to continue to associate the party with the ideals of Ojukwu, we can't take away, what he did for the party in the past. But if you want to appeal to the sentiments of other sections of the country, then you have to build the party as a party that has the answer to the myriads of the problem that the country is facing today, not about an individual.
Is your party ready to open up to the extent now that you have a Bianca Ojukwu?
Yes.
Serving in the Tinubu government?
Absolutely.
How much of an advantage or benefit could that be for your party?
I can tell you, I've said it severally. I called on the president and I commend him for that appointment. You see,
is Bianca Ojukwu a member of APGA?
Of course, she's a member of APGA. She's a BOT member of the party. To date, she's not resigned her membership of the party, and she had that appointment as a member of the party.
Did she get the permission of your party too?
Definitely. We gave her the nod to because we believe, I called severally after the president was elected. One of the earliest calls I did to the president is to ensure, now that you've won the election and the Supreme Court has affirmed your election as the president of Nigeria, it is now time to close ranks, because the people that can help you solve the problem or achieve your manifesto for the country are not domiciled within your party. You have technocrats that are in other political parties. And I called on the president to make sure, because the moment you are elected a president, you're no longer the president of your party. You're a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which includes every opposition party. And for us, I've said it severally, that my preoccupation as a leader of a political party is to ensure that President Tinubu succeeds, because the interests of Nigerians are paramount. So it's not about which party the president belongs to. So the appointment
of Bianca, an APGA member in the Tinubu government, is a plus for your party?
Absolutely. Absolutely. As far as I'm concerned, it's a plus for our party, because our party is ready to play an inclusive governance. is a governance where if you have people, the technocrats or the people who have the wherewithal to contribute to the meaningful development and advancement of the country, why not?
Let me anchor this interview on this note. There are those who believe that Soludo's re-election might be problematic and that there is a downward political appeal that is had with the people of Anambra State, and that's why some of these issues politically are coming up. You know, why is Soludo's chance, or what is leading to that conversation about dwindling political acceptance of Chukwuma Soludo as the governor of Anambra State?
You know, the problem is you make so many speculations that I don't know where you get from. Certainly, this speculation cannot be from Anambra State.
Speculations.
No, that's what
you know that if I ask you a question, it's deep.
No. I can tell you.
What your people are saying.
I can tell you
on the ground.
When you say your people,
close your ears to them.
No. When you say your people, what you need to do is you sample an opinion. Go to the streets of Anambra State. Who are you telling that Soludo's political thing are dwindling? The people of Anambra State. Is it the people of Oka North?
It's for you to
or the people of Agwasa, or the people of Orumba North, Orumba South.
That really is
I don't have anything to prove. I don't have anything, absolutely nothing to prove.
Is there a threat to Soludo's re-election?
And there's absolutely no threat. Even though Soludo has not told you that he's seeking re-election.
Oh, he doesn't want to.
I'm telling you.
Has he told you that he's not seeking?
He has not told you. But the fact remains that what we are discussing today, the achievement of the solution government in Anambra State, and it's a government that we are proud of. I've said this severally, that is our greatest asset. Because what APGA stands for is the governance that takes care of the most vulnerable in the society. Because that's the essence of being your brothers and sisters keeper, leaving no one behind. And that is the essence of the progressive government we are running in Anambra State. So the solution government is a government that is deeply embedded in progressivism. And I see no reason why anybody in his right senses or element will come out and tell you that Soludo's political fortune is dwindling. I think that must be an allegation conjured somewhere from the moon. Doesn't face the reality in Anambra. Go to the streets of Anambra.
Well, sometimes the ears of the politicians are deaf to their own matters. so when you don't hear it, and some of us
for someone like me, yeah. I am a deep player in the politics of Anambra State.
You are not seeing or feeling the political storm that is brewing already in Anambra State.
If Soludo declares for governorship,
for re-election,
if that's what I'm saying, if he declares for re-election eventually, then the election is won.
There's no contest.
Absolutely.
Not in APC.
No contest.
Not in PDP.
We don't have APC in Anambra State.
No APC?
No, it does not exist.
With the likes of Senator...
Senator who?
What's her name now?
You talk about late Senator Ifeanyi Uba incident. That was the only because the 2023 election, APC did not win any seat, not one.
Not even Labour Party.
No. When you talk about Labour,
in Anambra State, no force. Even with the Peter Obi effect.
Don't bother about that. We are not. You see, Anambra. You see, Anambra. In 2017, Anambra is a very unique and peculiar state. In 2017, Peter Obi stood behind a PDP candidate. I'm not trying to diminish the personality and the status that Mr. Peter Obi has attained in the country. And mind you, I say it everywhere I go, whatever qualities you ascribe to Peter Obi today were as a result of his performance as the governor of Anambra State on the platform of APGA. Not on the platform of PDP, neither on the platform of Labour. And so if you say that Peter is a model of governance, then it's a plus for APGA, not for any other political party. That's why I tell you that we don't have any opposition.
But he moved for PDP eventually.
Yes, of course he's
But the question, the truth is that even if Peter Obi raises the hand of anyone, they cannot defeat...
Let me answer that question in a very simple terms. He has raised hands twice. 2017, 2021. None of them won even one local government. And I think that should be the end of this conversation.
Sly, is it okay? Well, I love when politicians are very confident. And I mean, I love also when I'm being challenged that, oh, what do you say? Conjecture. We hear that a lot as journalists. Well, that's our job to be able to put those questions through. Thank you so much, indeed, Sly Ozekanwa.
Thank you very much.
APGA National Chairman. Congratulations again on your victory at the Supreme Court. We'll take a break, everyone, and I'll take you to the southern part of the country. There's also trouble brewing. This one again is another legal trouble. It's in Osun State, in the home of the dancing governor. What is it about this time around? We'll be finding out after now. Join us again. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Let me now take you to Osun State. Yes, trouble is brewing. Well, the National Judicial Council has constituted a committee to investigate multiple allegations of abuse of office against the Chief Judge, Justice Adekpele Ojo, the Chief Judge of Osun State. The NJC, chaired by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekereakun, disclosed this in a statement following its 107th meeting held in mid of this month. The council's Deputy Director of Information, Kembe Balola Ogedengbe, signed that statement, and the statement written part, quote, the council also empaneled a committee to investigate all complaints and petitions against Honorable Justice O.A. Ojo, Chief Judge of Osun State. The investigation stems from a petition submitted by Temitope Fashion, an Osun-based activist who requested a review of Justice Ojo's activities in the petition dated October 14, 2024, and received by the NJC Fashion through our lawyer, SM Esankek, accused Justice Ojo of abuse of office, disobedience to court orders, mismanagement of public funds, and unilateral suspension of judicial staff, among other allegations. And the activist highlighted what she termed ongoing irregularities, corruption, and high-handedness, allegedly characterizing the Osun State Judiciary under Justice Ojo's leadership. I'm now being joined by Chief Sunday Ezakek. I hope Ezianakak. I always find it difficult. I don't know why, and also I've always put the punctuations and all the linguistic marking the Ezianakak. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it. What is your locus? You are not from Osun State. You are from Akwa Ibom State from the last time I checked.
Well, I'm an Akwa Ibom man. I am from Akwa Ibom State. I am a lawyer. I am called to practice law in Nigeria as a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court. So my jurisdiction is the legal profession.
And in Nigeria?
In Nigeria.
So you can put your nose and your mouth in a matter that is in Osun State, although you practice law in Abuja?
It's clientele. You can be briefed by a client.
So who is your client in this sense?
My client is one of the 5 persons that have been victimized in Osun State, Temitope Fasina.
And what, I mean, I saw the petition, and interestingly, what caught my attention was the reply that I saw by the NJC, acknowledging the petition and empanel a committee to sit on an investigation. That is the first, procedural powers the NJC has when it says get a petition as regarding a very senior member of the judiciary. So what are your issues?
Well, the issue is that the problem in the Osun State Judiciary, as you've rightly said, has been brewing. It is continuous. And there are persons who have fallen victims to this problem in the judiciary of Osun State. It has come on a note that even the judicial staff union of the state has tried to do their bits to ensure that justice is given to these persons. So our issue is that there are people that, because of the action or inactions of the CJ of Osun State, these persons have now become sufferers of those actions.
There was a time that the courts were closed in Osun State. No lawyer was able to go to court. people were in custody, and there are those who believe that this was somewhat a political issue between the executive in Osun State and the leader of the judiciary, which is the chief judge. You don't think that this is political in some nature?
Well, I wouldn't know the aspect of the politics. I remember as a Nigerian, there were that time that the court was shut down because there was also an industrial action. So I think those things culminated to that action.
You also remember that the governor has asked for the removal of the CJ, which NJC had refused at that time.
I later became aware of that fact after we...
So you don't see that this could be a political move, which you probably are playing towards?
No.
Or you and your client are playing towards?
No, I may not. I cannot speak to the political aspect of it, but I believe that justice for one is justice for all. That is where our primary concern is. The fact that people are suffering because of the inactions or the actions of the judiciary in Osun State.
So what exactly is the offense of the CJ? The very noble woman who is leading the judiciary in Osun State. Why are these allegations coming left, right, and center against this woman?
Well, so you know, I am a lawyer. I am not supposed to say who offends who. The job as a lawyer is to be able to look for a channel where grievances are addressed. Now, the 5 persons, the judicial staff of the state, some of them were all suspended by the instructions of the CJ of the state. Now, some of them had to meet a criminal panel. They were tried. You know, the criminal powers were imputed upon them.
This is a quasi-judicial process, isn't it?
No, I'm talking about what you are talking about. What is our grievance? Okay. What is the grievance?
Yeah. So these people that you said were empaneled by
they were tried in a criminal court.
In a criminal court,
not a criminal court. Yeah, 2 of them were tried in a criminal court. You know, the full system evolved. You know, 2 of them particularly, they were accused of stealing printer and photocopying papers. You know, they were tried and they were discharged and acquitted. After that, it was expected that this person should be reinstated in their job. And for almost 2 years running, they are still under suspension, despite all avenue that they've been made, they've written letters, they've asked.
So when the court has acquitted them and discharged them, naturally they should have gone back to their work.
Yes.
And all their rights and benefits should have been given to them, and they reinstated. But then they didn't get that.
They are still up till today, and as we are talking.
The feeling of your client is that the chief judge is responsible for all that.
Of course, he is the arbiter, he's the final, he's the person that.
As a leader of the judiciary in the state, isn't it?
Yes, she is the arbiter. She's the final. She is the last person that make an order that affects them. She is the one that is responsible for their reinstatement.
Now, I look at the petition carefully. There's one that is about 18 pages. There's one about 30-something pages. And reading through all of those documents, which has now found as evidence that you have sent to the NJC. These are heavy and weighty allegations against the noble chief judge of Osun State. Part of what you said is that there is ongoing irregularities, corruption, high-handedness, abuse of office, allegedly characterizing the office of Justice Ojo and our leadership. And there are also grievances, including submissions that you have made through your office of mismanagement of public funds, disobedience to court orders, abuse of office. Do you have evidence to these, or to all of this?
So the petition that our client briefed us, the petition, there were evidence, there were exhibits, there were even letters that were written to that effect.
Of mismanagement of public funds by
the petition is encompassing. The petition is encompassing.
I'm talking about the evidence which you have put as affidavit or
yes,
as put as exhibits.
Yes, they were exhibited. It's all been exhibited in the petition. The petition is volumes. You understand? So our client has given us that instruction because, you see, we've been trying to look for a way to see how this seeming problem could be put to a stop.
But are you happy now that the NJC has acknowledged your petition? Because if for several years this has not been attended to by the highest power that has a regulatory duty over any judicial officer, I mean, are you happy that this is being done?
Before we came on, before we were briefed, we understand that there were several petitions that were written to the past NJC leadership, and that was not it was not considered. So now that we've been informed that they are giving effect to our petition, of course we are happy, because we believe that as lawyers, it is the duty of the NJC to go through these allegations and find solutions so that our clients will not continue to suffer.
So you have alleged these weighty allegations against the noble Chief Judge of Osun State, but you are asking, what are your prayers as part of, I mean, of course you have alleged, but what are your prayers? What are you asking?
My client has alleged all the allegations as presented to us by our client is to the effect that as it's contained and encapsulated in the petition. Now, our prayers is that it is only the NJC that has the power to go into and look at our client's petition and decide. That is our prayers. We only want the authority to look into this, because we cannot go any other way. The only place we can go is to run to the NJC and say, look, these are the facts, these are the issues. We present them. It is the duty of the NJC to look onto it and decide.
What are your fears about the ongoings in Osun State Judiciary under the leadership of Justice Ojo?
Well, the fear is that if from the facts we've presented in our petition, if all these are not given consideration to by the NJC, there will be impunity. Everybody keep talking about the executive arms of government interfering in the judiciary, in the legislature, you know. Now, if this continues, there will be a state of impunity. So we only run to the NJC so that NJC will do the needful and look at the petitions of our clients and give attention to it. And we believe that that is the only possible way that our clients will have solutions.
So you have faith in the process?
100%. In fact, under the current leadership of the NJC now, we believe, because they did not delay, they've informed us that attention is being given to our petition. So we have faith.
All right. Chief Sunday Ezenakak,
yes,
the lawyer to Mr. Fasino, one of the petitioners in this matter against the Chief Judge of Osun State, Justice Ojo, and we wish you the very best and hope for the interest of the Osun State people that the Honorable Chief Judge of Osun State will have our time to explain ourselves in a manner in which if there is any evidence to show that she's not done any of this, she'll be also let off the hook in all of what has become a major storm in the judiciary in Osun State. But thank you so much indeed for coming tonight.
Thank you very much.
That's our show for tonight, everyone. Man, thanks for being part of it. I'm sure Kimale, God bless Nigeria.